Hey folks, it's Lev. Welcome back to another video. For those of you who are new, I'm using pronouns. I have been doing a lot of reflection on my life and what I've been doing and where I am at and everything, and a lot about relationships as well, romantic and sexual relationships. So I wanted to talk about how I'm gonna proceed with the relationships moving forward and just an update on my life. First thing is I am still healing from that relationship that became toxic. um it's it's been a few weeks since I permanently cut the person out of my life, and it still hits me. Honestly, it still hits me. The pain sometimes hits me, the trauma still hits me. I feel Sometimes I feel physically sick, like nauseous, just thinking about it. That's how bad it's gotten. But with time, just every day, I am slowly getting better and continuing to get better, and like psychologically, emotionally detached from the person, and restore my nervous system and body to like a healthy baseline level, essentially, and not fluctuate so much and feel sick so regularly. As much as I want to rid the person from my head, it doesn't work like that. It's just taking time, and I accept that it's not, there's no shortcut to this, and it's just consistent grit and showing up to do the work every day, and not suppressing it, because suppressing it will just make it come out stronger. So it hits me, and I'm like, okay, this is how you're feeling. Acknowledging how I feel and being like, this is okay to feel this way. You really love the person. Just being kind to myself and be like, um, you know, you're getting there with time. Just keep going, keep healing, keep surrounding yourself with good people, keep doing the things you are doing in life. And, you know, a few more months down the line or years down the line, this would not even affect you, and you just look back and it'll just be a passing thought. Right now in my life, I'm not actively like seeking out romantic or sexual relationships. I am not ready for that yet, and had if I like invite someone new into my life and try to do that whole thing, it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna be re-traumatized, and I'm not gonna be putting in effort, and I would not be committed to it because I don't want it right now in my life. It's not something I genuinely want. And if it's something I don't genuinely care about, I am not gonna put effort into it. I'm just gonna be like, whatever. So that's why like I don't want to start anything with anyone, because it's not fair on the person if they're putting in effort and I'm just like half ass hanging along. I don't do that. I cannot do that. I also reflect, and you know, before I want to, enter a romantic or sexual relationship with someone, I want to be friends with them first. Um, you know, my head, my little timeline I envision is like be friends for at least 6 months. And because I think if I can't be friends with someone, what makes me think that I can date them, be romantic in sexual relationship with the person, if I can't even be friends with them, which is like the foundation of relationships for me. Like without friendship in the relationship, for me, I don't see it working out. Other important things for me is that I don't want this person to be a void filler in my life. That's why right now I believe it's very important to spend time alone and heal and learn how to love myself and treat myself with respect and kindness. Just giving myself the love that I have given to people closest to me, like my best friend. I'm just trying to give myself some of that love and just work on myself. Another thought that crossed my mind is I would like 1,000% rather be alone than in a toxic relationship, or a toxic relationship, or one where the person's not really putting in effort, or one that neither of us, like me or the person, are truly committed to it. I don't want a half-ass relationship, because I don't like doing things half-ass. It's like I'm fully in and committed, or I'm not committed. I don't really like saying yes to things and then end up not putting effort into it. because again, it's not fair on the person. I also think it's important to, not rush into anything for me at the moment in order for my brain to rewire itself. And it links in with healing. All of this links in with healing, like healing my brain, rewiring it. Um, Again, emotionally, psychologically detaching from the person. Linking back to the at least 6 months of friendship thing, I just like to low key assess people and see how much effort they actually put in. Because again, if they don't even put effort into a friendship, then I have very little hope of them putting effort in a romantic or sexual relationship, which I see as one level up from friendship. So it's friendship as the foundation of pretty much all of my close connections, and then level up is romantic relationship, and then again for the next level it's sexual relationship. Like I see those two as very sexual and romantic are two separate things for me. It's on different levels. Friendship first, and then romantic relationship, and then sexual relationship, adding on top of the romantic relationship. I also have that little buffer period now to see how the person treats me, and whether I can spot red flags and inconsistencies in what they say versus what they do. Because for me, I do listen to what people say, but I focus more on actions. Like I see actions as the evidence of them following up with what they say. I don't truly believe words, I believe actions. Because if people say they do things, and then if people say they do things or they will do things, and then they do things that are completely different, or they behave in completely different ways to what they say they are and do, then I call bullshit in the discrepancy between what someone says and what someone does. Like, if someone says to me, I love you, and then they end up treating me like garbage, I'm like, do you really love me? Because if you truly love me, you wouldn't be treating me like garbage. That's why I pay attention to actions more so than what people say. Another reason why I'm taking a break from this whole dating relationship thing is because I don't know where it fits into the biggest picture that is my life at the moment. I have a lot of good things going for me at the moment, and I want to focus on, continuing to do good in these domains of my life and keep doing what I love doing. I recently started getting back into music production. I haven't really done this entire year essentially. I did it a lot. I made a lot of music last year during lockdowns here in Melbourne, but since the start of this year, I have sort of dropped off, and I am starting to get back into it, and also focusing on drumming. I also miss making films and skits, so I'm gonna start thinking about a few ideas that I can do. Also, I'm aware that, you know, relationships, romantic sexual relationships, take up a lot of effort. Like a lot of effort has to be put in for it to be consistent and to keep building, strengthening the foundation, strengthening the bond and connection between two people, adding meaning to the friendship. I mean the relationship, having to understand each other's needs and wants, and whether there is compatibility, and whether I can meet the person's need and whether they can meet my needs. There's a lot of things to consider, and it, there are a lot of building blocks that need to be organized and put together in order for a relationship to sustain and be healthy. And right at this current part of my life, I do not am not willing to put in time, effort, and energy into a relationships because I want to focus on the other things in my life. And that's where the life update comes in. First important thing I can think of is, looking after my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional health. Given that I'm currently on testosterone and I am going through a second puberty, the acne is one of the biggest side effects of testosterone, just non-stop acne. But yeah, looking after myself also takes up a lot of effort. I'm going through a lot of physical growth, as well as emotional and psychological growth, and I also have been doing a lot of reflections, deep reflections about, how I feel about my own identity, my relationship with gender dysphoria, where am I at with all my close friends. I just think about a lot of different things. How can I look after myself better? Um, what are the physical symptoms that manifest trying to tell me, and how do I work with it more effectively rather than try to ignore my intuition? There's a lot of things, and all of this takes up emotional and psychological brain power. But again, it's very important, and it's something I'm continuing to do. Another thing in my life is that I mentioned yesterday's video that I am working full time in mental health, and this full time job can get quite hectic at times. And some of the things I hear about and see in the mental health field can lead may lead to like vicarious trauma, and my own mental health state not being so good. If I don't look after myself properly and I start burning out, then my mental health state is just gonna start going downhill. So still learning how to do that, like looking after myself properly, um not just binge watching TV. That's not proper self-care for me. Also ensuring that I get adequate proper rest, proper sleep. um Another thing in my life is that I'm continuing to sustain friendships with the people closest to me, and it takes effort, like, trying to sustain a genuine friendship and put and continue building it. It takes a lot of time, effort, attention, and energy. It's not like magic and then this awesome friendship, wholesome friendship with a very strong foundation of trust and whatnot magically appears. It doesn't work like that. It's always requires effort from both parties to put in. And I know this because I have been through one-sided friendships before, where I'm literally carrying the entire weight of the friendship and the other person is just like tagging along and they don't really care about it. It's draining. It's extremely draining for me. And it shows that the other person doesn't really care, or they don't care as much as I care about the friendship. So why do I put so much effort into it? That's why I stopped doing one-sided friendships. And people, little side note, if people start taking advantage of me, and I know that, I've just really like, nah. And then I cut contact with them, and most of the time they stop talking to me because they realize they can no longer take advantage of me. That's also a thing. I've also been doing a lot of boxing. When I started my full-time job, I didn't do any exercise for like the first 2 or 3 weeks because I was trying to figure out full-time job life again. If you didn't watch yesterday's video about getting to know me, this is my first paid job of my entire life, and it's a full-time job. I've done a lot of volunteering in the past, but never paid work, and this is full-time position. So I had to learn how to manage like what is the working life like, and I'm used to it by now. But when I started, I wasn't really sure how the world of work worked, and how to self-care, how to balance work with life outside of work and all of that. And I focused purely on work. That's why I threw everything else that was important to me out the window temporarily until I started getting the hang of things. And then I started incorporating important things to me back into my routine, like exercise, proper enough sleep, social contact with friends, continuing to do creative things. um Now I've got a locked I mean pretty good grasp of it. um so yes, boxing. I've been doing a lot of boxing. My routine training routine is 3 days a week, every second day do boxing or some sort of exercise like strength training, training my legs, building up my arm muscles, my chest muscles, just strengthening all over the body and improving cardio, endurance, just all of that thing, all of those things, and learning how to rest properly in between training days or between training periods. Because if I go like full on every day with boxing, I'm not gonna last. It's just my body will not be able to take it, and I will just start unintentionally hurting myself. I'm also just continuing to be me in life in general on YouTube, in my work, in my volunteering with my friends, just continuing to be me, which is usually me being very vulnerable about different aspects of my life and being very open with people and honest and having no filter, being completely transparent. I'm noticing the voice deepening right now. It's a little bit hoarse, but that's okay. It's part of the voice deepening process. And what if I have an Adam's apple? I don't know where the Adam's apple actually goes. Is it here? I don't know. I feel a bone sticking out here. But I don't know if that was there before or it's just the Adam apple's growing. I have no idea. Anyway, recently I was invited to take part in a project where they're creating like a little web series talking about different aspects of health and well-being. And this project, the videos and the content of this project is intended to be targeted towards LGBTIQA plus youth and people from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. And I was invited to take part in the project, and I absolutely said yes without hesitation, literally, because film, video, me being myself and being vulnerable and being a voice for my community, there's no way I can decline that. And just continuing to create positive, hopefully I can keep creating a positive difference in the lives of other humans, which is also important to me. Once I start putting all of these pieces of my life together in a puzzle, like work, volunteering, personal projects, creative projects, doing these YouTube videos, making music, journaling, all of that, drumming, all of that creative stuff, plus friends, keeping contact with friends, continuing to build friendships, like building it, strengthening it, like at least six of my close friends, and boxing, exercise. And there's also like reflection time alone, and there's also me playing video games or watching Netflix and YouTube just for recreation. Once I start putting all these pieces together, is actually my days go so fast, and I it feels like I run out of time before when doing one thing. I don't have time for other things, so I'm just figuring it all out and trying to do at least um a few things at least, like a few times each week at least, just giving time to everything that is important to me, because I don't want to neglect everything and just focus on one thing, because all of these things are important for me to keep a balance, as in um mental health balance and physical health balance. And if I get thrown off somewhere in one of these domains, it seriously affects my well-being overall, and it doesn't discriminate. So yeah, just doing all of these things, time goes fast. I have to allocate my time and realize that like there is a lot of I have a lot of things on my plate and things that are going well for me in life without a romantic or sexual relationship. And I told my therapist this, and this is like the point of my life where I just go out and keep living, keep learning, keep experimenting, staying curious, asking questions, doing things to help answer my questions, considering risk and everything, not just blindly and doing it without thinking. Just keep doing this and keep on learning how to become a better version of myself, shedding the old layers. I think I like the phoenix analogy because the phoenix rises from the ash of its previous self or predecessors. And I think of that as a thing, a cycle throughout my life. There are parts of me I it burns down, and then a better, stronger version of me arises, and then I start learning things. I encounter life challenges. It breaks me, shed that layer, and then rise again. It's just like a cycle, of shedding my old self, letting go of parts of me that aren't helpful for me anymore, and just continuing to be reborn each time being a better version of myself. um, Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you in the next video.